Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and it is that time of the month for January 2020 to take a look at the top games of the month. Now I'm also going to be having a top application list as well, which is going to be linked in the description down below, so if you guys are into games or into apps, you've got two different videos to choose from. So, let's take a look. So first up then we have Battle Prime, and the main reason why this game got my attention straight away was for the really awesome looking visuals. Now these are some of the best graphics that I've seen in a third person shooter on mobile, and the gameplay itself holds up extremely well. Now if you've played something like a slightly older Ghost Recon, or if you had a PlayStation 2 back in the day and played SOCOM, then you know exactly what you're getting yourself in for in regards to the look and feel of this game. Now based on the video recording, it doesn't look all that good, but keep in mind that I'm actually recording this directly on my OnePlus 6T with all of the graphics maxed out, so it was a little bit stuttery. However, the gameplay itself is really smooth at 60 frames a second with no issues whatsoever, so again, if you've got a newer Samsung Galaxy device for example with an AMOLED screen, this is going to look really awesome. Now you've got different characters or avatars to choose from which do have unique abilities, so if you want to go in all guns blazing you can do, or if you want to take a little bit more of a stealthy approach and go around the back of the map, then you've got the option depending on which character and which playstyle you go for. Now the main online gameplay mode is 6v6 battles, where basically when you get killed and then you respawn, the main objective is to use different operators when you're playing the game to use different playstyles to actually get that victory. Now most people that I saw playing the game really only played it like a team deathmatch or domination game that you might find in some other popular online shooters. Now that wasn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, but I'm not really sure that's what the developers had in mind when they created the game. As you can see on this map here for example, you've got 3 different capture points that you need to get to, and then there is a score at the top there, so it's basically like a mix of domination from Call of Duty and conquest mode on the Battlefield games. The controls for the game are also really nice as well, allowing you to jump over different obstacles, crouch down, use your iron sights, or you can just go all guns blazing without using your scope at all. Now you can also see that you do get XP when you kill enemies as well, as there is a progression system built into the game, allowing you to unlock different weapons and different specialists as you play the game. Now there is also a paid season pass, which again for this sort of game I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but the option's there if you want to get some cooler equipment. But overall, if you're looking for a really awesome team-based shooter, then I would definitely recommend downloading Battle Prime, and it's going to be linked in the description down below, along with everything else that I've featured in this video, and also my top applications list of January 2020. Next up then we have Johnny Trigger, and this was probably the game on the list that I have played the most. I have done over 140 levels. Now the game itself is very simple. You automatically move along the actual level itself, and you're going to come into around 2, 3 or 4 different sections where time is going to slow down, you've got a laser sight on your gun, and quite simply all you need to do is tap on the screen to take out the enemies. Now there will also be some civilians as well that you can't hit, so there is a little bit of challenge to the game itself, and also lining up the shots perfectly can take a little bit of practice. You can then also unlock different weapons and outfits as you play the game, but keep in mind that this game is completely free of charge, so basically any time that you click to unlock something new, although you don't have to pay any money and it is free, you will have to sit through an advertisement of around 15 to 30 seconds, but to get all of the awesome included weaponry and outfits included, it's not really all that bad. The graphical style of this game is very simple, but it is also very effective as well. You've got some nice movements, some nice 3D character design, and the sense of depth within each map actually does look quite good. Now you've got a ton of different weaponry to choose from automatic rifles, handguns, pistols, you name it, and again you've got a ton of different outfits to choose from. Now keep in mind that some of these outfits are going to look very familiar, but nothing in this game is licensed, so if you see someone that looks a little bit like a plumber from Nintendo, it's not actually going to be that character. But at the end of the day, it's still one of the only games out there that allows you to play as a character from Star Wars, Rambo, a guy that looks a lot like Mario, and also some Watchmen characters as well. Johnny Trigger is a very easy to play but very addictive shooter, and if you're looking for a very casual game that you can play every now and then with a ton of levels, characters and weapons, then again this is definitely one that I would recommend. Next up then is one of those games that was actually recommended to me on Instagram in an advertisement, but I downloaded it, started to play it, and it's actually not too bad. Now the aim of the game is to basically use your thumb, and that's all you actually need to do to move your character up the actual level, avoid obstacles, and basically just get to the end goal. Now I'm not sure of the actual name of the game, but I'm going to pronounce it Audia because that's just basically how it's spelt. The graphics themselves do look really nice, the gameplay is really smooth, and the thing that sold it to me, and that was actually part of the Instagram ad, was the fact that you can just play this one-handed using your thumb. Now I'm not sure of many games out there, especially for mobile, that you don't maybe have to use in landscape using both your hands, so to just use this casually, maybe waiting at the bus stop for example, it's a really nice way to kill some time. The gameplay and graphics are very smooth, you've got a ton of different worlds to choose from, you've got 3 worlds in total with 30 levels that get progressively harder as you go through the game itself. Now it's also the winner of the 2019 Google Indie Contest as well, so again if you're looking for something that is award winning, easy to play and looks great, then again Audia is one that I would definitely try out. Next up then we have Progress Bar 95. Now if you guys remember the older days of Windows 95 or some of those older operating systems, then this is definitely one for you to bring back some of those old memories. The aim of the game is to catch the sections that are going to help you progress and avoid the ones that are going to take you to failure to basically upgrade your fictional computer. You can upgrade things like the RAM, the hard drive, the monitor, and even a CD to DVD exchange as well, and again the gameplay is very fun, quite easy at the start, but it does definitely get very challenging. You're also going to have a ton of pop-ups that you need to avoid, and you also don't want to get any of the bad sections either, because that's then going to lead to a little bit of a mini game which can be fun, like having to defrag your system, but again adds a little bit more challenge to the gameplay. Graphics wise, this brings back a ton of memories from the older operating systems from Windows. Now of course for copyright reasons they can't actually call it Windows 95, XP and etc, but that's kind of what they are. As you can tell from the start menu and all of the icons, and just the fact that you do have a really nice startup screen to choose your operating system, you can kind of see the look and feel that they're going for while saving themselves a little bit of money on licensing. One thing that I'm not a huge fan of are the in-app purchases. Now keep in mind that they aren't actually necessary to play the game, and you will unlock the different operating systems as you go, but for instance to get an ad-free version of the game is going to be $1.99, which isn't really too bad. You're going to help the developers out, so again that's not really the problem here. But if you want to go ahead and get different operating systems early, you're going to be looking at $3.99 all the way up to around $17.99 or above, so it can be a little bit pricey if you want to play some of the newer versions of the operating system as opposed to having to play through the game. However, if you really are a fan of nostalgic computers and you really want to feel for that Windows 95, 98, 2000 and Vista, then this is a great game to try, and like I mentioned, it can be a little bit challenging from time to time. And then lastly we have a slightly older game, but one that I keep going back to, simply called 2 Dots. Now the aim of the game is to basically line up 2 or more dots to then reach the goal of the level. Now the great thing about this game is you've got around 2,500 levels to choose from, and they keep adding more on a regular basis. Now obviously they are going to get harder as you go through the game itself, but it's a very simple game to play, and again if you're looking for a bit of a time waster, which is kind of the theme of this video, then this is a great option to try. Now the gameplay itself is very simple. Like I mentioned, all you need to do is connect 2 or more dots to then progress through the level. Now sometimes, like the game that you're looking at here, you may have to get different objectives within the game. So with this one I need to get all of the anchors down to the bottom of the screen to actually win, but you do also have some power-ups that you can use along the way that can actually help with the gameplay to make each level a little bit easier. This is definitely a game that I would recommend playing with headphones. You've got some really nice subtle music to the gameplay itself and some really nice sound effects, so if you've got some headphones lying around, I would definitely plug them in. You can also connect up to your Facebook account, so if you do want to challenge any of your friends to a high score or save and actually then go back to your progress in the game, then you've got the option to do so. It would have been nice to have a different logging and not just Facebook for example, but again if you've got a ton of friends there and you do want to compete, then it's a great option to challenge some of your friends. And that's going to do it, guys, for this video. Now, if you've got any recommendations on any games that you want me to take a look at in future episodes of the best games for Android, then let me know in the comment section down below or on Twitter at Copper vs Glass. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up down below would be greatly appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. And once you're subscribed, turn on notifications so you're notified anytime that I post a new video here on the channel. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next video.